So let's break more into that, because just to be an entrepreneur and to do that, that's a remarkable thing in itself. And I saw it. I grew up. I'm a triplet, and my brother, he was light into the drug game, but that was when the Silk Road was really going. So you could order LSD, you could order mushrooms, and it would be delivered to your house. And so I would be with him sometimes when he'd be selling weed, and it made me so nervous, dude. I think I never farted more in my life than that. Just like being nervous, you know? Yeah. Like every cop that would drive by, I was like, oh God. Like, it'd be one of those things like, always make sure it's in the trunk. Always make sure that, like, I just was paranoid when I was in high school when that was going on. How did you grow your business in a way that, I mean, was it stressful? Were you paranoid? And how did you become so big that you were $1 million drug empire?
Yeah, so things changed. So I went from sitting on a milk crate as a teenager selling coke, crack, and weed, and so I had the block. I had my own corner, and I kept doing that for years at a time. And then the neighborhood started really getting gentrified. And I started marketing to other people that were not from the neighborhood, that were coming down here to party. This was like 2003, 2004.
How'd you market to them?
I would literally tell them, hey, buddy, you want to smoke a blunt with me? And then, I'd give them a little bit of hit of blunt and be like, by the way, I have coke. I have everything you fucking need. Here's my business card. So I made out 5,000 business cards between me and my boy, and we that shit just blew up.
Were you worried that a cop or a detective would stumble upon your business card and be like, oh, no, phone number and address, I think we have our guy?
There was no address. Okay. It was just a phone number. And
it was a burner phone, I imagine.
We had 7 burner phones because each phone only held 2,500 contact numbers. So it was like iPhones, you could hold thousands of numbers, but we literally had to have more phones and develop more business cards with different numbers because we couldn't hold the amount of contacts that we had on that phone.
Wow.
And so I'm literally like picking up 2 phones at a time, like, hello, where you at? 25th and 3rd, 14th and 5th, give me 10 minutes, give me 5 minutes. I would bleep somebody would go. And so that's how it just was a never ending hustle.
Now, how having that many people have, because I could see being a drug dealer where, like, if I'm getting pounds of weed and then I have 5 people that I just offload right away to, and it's relatively contained, I could see that being secure. But all it takes is one person to get caught up, to snitch. Like, how did you protect yourself from that?
So everybody that was hustling for me at the time were friends that I grew up with, and so before it was just like me and my boy, and we were just like hustling 24 hours a day, but the demand grew so much that we needed help, and so we needed to basically hire people. So all the guys that were like standing on a corner not doing shit, smoking weed with us, I'm like, get a fucking bicycle, you're making deliveries. And so that was it. That was the beginning of it. From bikes, we started, had a deal with rental car services. I got a whole fleet of cars. We had over 20 drivers, 2 different shifts, and it just blew up,
And how long, well, first, how long did this all last? But also, what was the respect like that you got? I imagine you were the man, right?
Yeah, I mean, people still see me as like a hood famous star, like I could walk down the street and you'll see people just like bigging me up because I'm from this neighborhood, and what I'm doing now is different, but back then I was driving crazy cars, wearing furs, and that's how I lived my life, and just spending a lot of fucking money frivolously.
So in a lot of these stories you hear about, there's a moment when you're kind of riding high, it feels like you're invincible. What was the beginning of the end? And did you ever think, like, I think I'm a little too flashy right now, it's a little too hot right now, I need to lay low? Like, walk me through that.
Yeah, I just didn't really care about being flashy like that. And then when I started changing, and stopped being flashy, that's when it became boring. So everything started operating like a corporate business. I was not touching the drug. I was not picking up the drug. I was not bagging up the drug. I was not sending anybody to any spot. Everything was just operating functionally, and I was not getting my hands dirty. I was literally just driving in a car, just bored out of my mind, and just smoking weed all freaking day.
So it wasn't as glamorous as people might picture.
I mean, I had a fun. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of glamour, but it was,
Like,
you
how
know,
did people treat you? Like, was it easy to get women? Did men just think like did you just get instant respect anywhere you would go? Like, walk me through, because I think that's one of the intoxicating parts of different levels of power is like you reach this status. I would imagine like walk me through what that was like.